What is up, team? Here you are live with Big Boys Boxing once again. I'm Johnny, your host, and as per usual, let me get a few things sorted here and then we can get into it. So, not a lot happened over the weekend for the heavyweight division, but there was a few fights to watch. I watched the Lewis Ritson versus Robbie Davis Jr. fight. I watched the Alexander Vajdik versus Artur Beterbiev fight. It was a cracking fight, that one. Alexander Vajdik was hospitalized after getting stopped late in the fight. He's out now. He had a concussion, but everything's all good. So, nobody in the chat as yet. It's all good. Not a huge amount to talk about, but we'll see who comes in and get some conversation going. I think it's the weekend coming. Yeah, it is. We got the big card on the 26th of October with Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor having their unification fight in the final of the WBSS tournament. And on that card, we have David Price and Derek Chisora getting it on, so that's going to be interesting. And I'm sure there's a lot more fights to talk about this weekend as well, but we'll save that for when we get some people in. So, music on. Go and get some invites sent out and see who comes along. The regulars. I've just sent the link out via Hangouts, so if you'd like to join, hit the link, jump on in. And for anyone else who may like to join, I'm about to drop a link in the chats. There we go. Link is in the chat for anybody who may like to join as well. So there we go. Alright. So we've got 2 people watching. No commenters as yet. But don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way in. Right, so the big news for the heavyweights this weekend was Martin Bakole drops and stops Kevin Johnson. That's a feat in itself. It's a statement in itself. Tommy Temper in the house. How you going, brother? No worries, bro. It's all good. The option is there for anybody who may like to join. No biggie. But yes, Martin Bakole stops Kevin Johnson. And as we know, Kevin Johnson is well past his best. I'm not going to try and argue that. But this is only the 3rd time he's been stopped. And we're going to go and look at who has and who hasn't stopped him, alright? So, just give me a sec here, I'll get this browser sorted. Oh yeah, where's my browser? This is a little bit difficult today. This program's being a pain in the ass. Can't see all my sources today. Don't know what's up with it. clips. We don't want purses. We don't want boxes. Am I missing a scene here? But Martin Bakole came forward, threw a lot of shots, and they were catching Johnson. Not so much of the shoulder roll this time. And he eventually took a few clean shots and backed up to the ropes. I think it was in the 5th round. Alright, here we go. Finally got this browser sorted, I think. God damn, what a mission today. Here we go. We got this browser up and running. Finally. Sorry, folks. So as we know, Kevin Johnson's well past his best. He's got 16 losses and 1 draw with 34 wins on his record nowadays. Where's his age at? His age is... where is he? He's 40 years old now. So, yeah, he is well past his best. But it is what it is. We have unrivaled boxing talk and news in the house. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing good, John. How's things?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You enjoy the weekend's boxing?
Loved it.
Loved it? Yeah.
Loved it.
I'm just having a bit of a run through of this Kevin Johnson stoppage at the moment. Many people will be saying, oh, it's Kevin Johnson. He's well past his best, but Kevin Johnson's one of the most durable journeymen around. He's only ever been stopped 3 times, and only 2 times legitimately, I believe.
This is the 2nd time.
Yeah, the 2nd
The
legitimate
other one
stoppage.
wasn't the Peter Milas stoppage cuts?
It was. So
Yeah.
they've still got a TKO written on that, but it was cuts that stopped it. So,
See, even though Johnson's a journeyman, he normally has 2 months between fights, except for the Hrgovic one, because he had the Radimolovic in December, and then the week after he fought Hrgovic. And 2 weeks after that, he fought Radimolovic again.
yeah.
But other than that, he normally has time in between his fights, like a month or 2. But this with Bakole, he fought Alexander Jacoji, who you well know, John, was a fierce prospect as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And he only had, 5 days notice of that for this
2.
fight. Oh, 2 days notice, so there you go.
He said he had 2 days. He had 2 days notice on IFL TV.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
He got the call 2 days before the fight.
But regardless, I've just happened to catch a copy of the stoppage this morning. I haven't been able to watch the whole fight, but a lot
Hold on.
a lot of the punches Bakole was throwing were landing clean on him, and you don't see that too often with Johnson. He usually uses that shoulder roll and leans back, and punches bounce off him rather than hit him flush. But he was getting pieced up, man. I don't often see him back up against the ropes like he did, and Bakole just went to work, and too much for him. So, bit of a statement, I think, from Bakole there. What are your thoughts?
No, it's definitely a statement. I mean, it's a fade to Kevin Johnson, who is a journeyman. I mean, the only other person to stop him legitimately is Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
And that's the most legit knockout of Kevin Johnson, obviously. Milas beat him on cuts. Bakole gets a good TKO. He was landing quite cleanly on Kevin. Kevin's normally quite slippy. This is the slowest I've seen Kevin move, though. But
Yep.
Bakole's quite powerful, strong, and robust. And he did good. But Johnson said that Bakole's nowhere near on Dubois or Dillian White's level.
Yeah. I guess we've got to blame the short notice for that. But I don't know. Maybe it's a common theme that's going to start happening more often now that Kevin Johnson's had so many wars. He's 40 years old. Maybe he's losing some of that durability. I don't know. But still got to give credit to Bakole. I mean, he's a tough dude. And it kind of brings us back to that fight he lost against Hunter. How much of the injury was to blame for that. It was later on in the fight that it looked like his shoulder was broken or of some sort, but prior to that injury he was still getting the shit beaten out of him. So I know Martin Bakole could still do a lot of damage in the heavyweight division. I'm sure he's pretty much been made famous by sparring with Anthony Joshua and the stories that came out of that. But how far do you think Bakole might go?
I'm not sure. I don't think he'll get into the top 10. I think he could be like a fringe contender, maybe.
Do you think he could possibly fight for a British title?
Is he British? I thought he was from the Congo.
He is from the Congo, but he's been residing in Britain for a while now.
If he has citizenship, I think so. If they can get him to, maybe, yeah. But who's British champion right now? Dubois?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not winning the British title if Dubois is champion.
Not if he's holding it. No, I agree with that for sure. But I don't.
He could get his hands on the title if it goes vacant, then he gets a fight with like a Sexton or something.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I don't know how long Daniel Dubois is going to hang on to that title. I think he's destined for much bigger and better things. So.
Well, they're talking about him and Allen.
Yeah, well, I hope that fight doesn't happen. I really don't.
Same.
I don't want to see Dave Allen end up not being able to talk or worse. So
that wouldn't be good.
No, not at all. Did you manage to catch the fight at all yet, Rafi?
Yeah, I caught that fight. Yeah, I watched it. 5 rounds. Johnson on 2 days' notice. He had a fight 8 days prior, a 12-rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then flew back to the US. Got the fight on 2 days' notice. Flew back over here. So it wasn't going to be. It wasn't. The auspices weren't too good on that one. Obviously, he was worn out from the 12-rounder. He's 40 years old, and then jet lag. Yeah. So I don't understand the rationale. Was it even safe? Was it even healthy with what we've seen going on? I mean, you saw the headshots he was taking. Was it physically safe? Should he have been medically passed for that? I doubt it.
Probably not. No.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how much of the damage from his previous fight was kind of carried through onto this one as well. Maybe that contributed to him not being as evasive.
Yeah, I think that he's clearly not the Kevin Johnson that we're accustomed to seeing, and with the factors of just having a 12-round fight, flying from Europe over to the US, flying back from the US over to Europe. No, it wasn't. It wasn't optimal conditions under any circumstance. It just wasn't optimal conditions.
No, not at all. But moving on, Martin Bakole. Hopefully, we can see him in some other good fights soon. I mean, there's not only that fight. There's also he stopped Marius Walk as a bit of a statement as well. He's knocking over some of these guys who nobody stops. So
yeah, Italo Pereira as well.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. So how far can he go? We're gonna wait and see. Do you guys know off the top of your head who he's promoted by?
Himself.
He's just himself. So he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants and fight whoever he wants, which is good.
So, yeah, he's his own man.
Nothing holding him back. That's good. Alright. We shall move on to our next fight. The one that I watched that I thoroughly enjoyed between Artur Beterbiev and Alexander Gvozdyk. A good dust-up between a big puncher and a boxer puncher. I thought maybe Vosdik might be able to get the job done over 12 rounds. I did put a small bet on it, but I didn't have faith in it. So I was prepared to lose that money, and I did. But great performance from Beterbiev. He can take a shot. And he doesn't seem too interested in boxing too much. He's pretty much breaking down a fighter and wants to knock his head off and stop him all the time. So I thought it was a great performance. I had Vosdik up. Ooh, where's my score sheet? I had Vosdik up by the time they got to the middle rounds. But some of the rounds were getting closer and closer. You can see Vosdik was getting weaker and weaker, and eventually took its toll. Ended up getting knocked out, hospitalized with a concussion. He's out, he's safe, so no worries about that. But how did you guys see the fight? You want to have a go there first, Unrivaled? Where's he gone? No, still there, must be busy. But you would have watched that one then, wouldn't you, Rafi?
No, I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't watch that one. I didn't get to that one, unfortunately. I heard it was a good fight, but that's one I didn't get around to.
Okay. You would have seen the Ritson versus Davis Jr.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You want to give us your take on that one, mate?
Yeah, that was one hell of a fight. You know, I'm not one who gravitates towards these lightweight clashes, but obviously, you know, with the shows coming up this weekend, obviously I had to, out of obligation, I had to watch it, and what a bloody fight that was.
It was. And I don't think too many people expected Robbie Davis Jr. to do as well as he did. But
I didn't expect nothing from that fight. But it was one hell of a fight from the opening bell to the finish.
Yeah, well, I think Davis Jr. had the right idea. You know, take it to Taylor. Don't let him box too much from the outside, and it proved to make the fight a hell of a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe Taylor might stop him around 7 or 8 after boxing his head off.
Ritson.
Yes, sorry, yes, Ritson.
Yeah, I mean, bloody hell. It was fireworks from the get-go.
It was.
Absolute fireworks from the get-go, and I thought that Ritson looked like he was going to stop him towards the end of the first round with the left hook.
Yeah.
The left hooks kept on coming in. And they were just landing. And towards the end of the first round, it looked like, well, I think he certainly buckled Davis Jr. And I thought, what the hell's going on? And sure enough, he got through the first round, and then kind of there was a little bit of it came back in the second round, did Davis Jr. But for me, the story of the fight was that Ritson's punches were just they were just more piston-like.
Yeah, certainly more.
Whereas, certainly more effective. Whereas Davis Jr., his punches seemed to be more of push punches. He seemed to push it. Where Ritson's punches were more piston-like, explosive, piston-like. Lot more drive on them. And throughout the fight, I haven't seen the punch stats, but visually, throughout the fight, Ritson was just simply landing more. Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of the punches Robbie Davis was throwing were hitting blocks, hitting arms a lot of the time. There was some getting through, but definitely the more clean, effective work seemed to be coming from Ritson.
Yes.
What did you think of that fight? Unrivaled, are you there, mate?
Which fight, Robbie Davis Jr. and Lewis Ritson?
Yeah.
I thought it was the British fight of the year.
Certainly a whole lot of fireworks in a phone booth, wasn't it? It was awesome.
I thought it was unbelievable. Like, if you look at the first round, it started out about a minute in. they were already exchanging heavily, and Ritson caught him with this sharp jab that snapped his neck back. And then Davies kind of shelled up a little bit, and Ritson started landing powerful body shots. But as the round progressed and towards the end of the round, Ritson looked like he nearly got him out, and Davies turned him in the corner and started firing off a 7-8 punch combination. I think I counted 5 landing to the body and 2 upstairs. I was commentating on it. And then in the second round, they started to kind of exchange, and it was more even, and Davies started to use that double jab.
Yeah.
That he started to use all night and start flicking it through the guard and powering it into the net. It kind of like powering back the neck of Ritson. And Ritson kind of went away from his jab through the second, third, fourth round. And I felt like the fight would be over within 6 rounds because both guys were just throwing everything. I felt one was just bound to go, and they just kept carrying through. Then Davies, he started to kind of change the tactic of the fight somewhere around the third, fourth round when he started to push his head on top of Ritson's head, which is an illegal maneuver, but at the same point, he was using it to disguise some of his shots going to the body and coming up top. And when Ritson was throwing his uppercuts, Davies was landing 2 hooks. But I felt as though the fight could have been a draw. Ritson could have just narrowly won. I didn't feel Davies did enough, but a few people who were watching had it Davies. So, yeah, and then when we got into that 12th round, that was pretty much the story of the fight, like the double up jab from Robbie Davis Jr. and Ritson with the body punches and both guys landing. Just an accumulation with double hooks and triple body shots. It was just stunning to watch. And then as we got into the 12th round, I was like, how the hell did nobody go down? And they just teed off on each other. Like one guy would throw a salvo of 6-7 punches, then the other guy would turn him, throw 6-7 punches, then they'd clench and then it'd start all over again.
Man, it's where do they get all that energy from?
Either guy wanted to lose. I mean, when you knew the fight was close and you got to the judges' scorecards, you knew the hometown fighter was going to get it no matter what. But what a fight that was.
It was awesome, alright. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the possibly British Fight of the Year so far, for sure. It's not often I'll sit...
possible Fight of the Year contender.
Yeah. It's not often I'll sit and watch right through 12 rounds of a little guy's fight like that, but I was glued to it, so
yeah,
that's saying a lot for me.
Yeah, me too. I'm in the same boat. I mean, the little guys often irritating, they're hitting each other, not hurting oftentimes, but these guys were throwing bombs from the get-go to the point where I forgot they were little guys. That's a good sign.
Definitely. Was there any other fights on that card that you guys would like to talk about before we move on? Because I didn't watch any others.
Was a good fight.
Oh, I heard there's possibly a robbery with that one, so you better give us your rundown there, Unrivaled.
I had a 5-5 and 2 even, so I scored that fight 115-115. I can't call that a robbery. It was too close. One guy nicked around, the other nicked around. It was weird to see. Fitzgerald was the aggressor, and he's normally the back foot guy. And Cheeseman was on the back foot, and he was pawing out the jab, and he was slipping shots. I seen him throw a triple head feint. I've never seen that from Cheeseman. And then he'd revert to type Ted and come in and he'd get caught, and Fitzy would have more success off of the back foot. But both guys just kind of boxed with each other. It was a more technical affair. It was drawn out, well paced. I liked the way Fitzy was stepping onto Cheeseman, trying to force it back and started the fight, make Cheeseman take a step back. And as Cheeseman came in trying to, he got caught with counters. As Cheeseman was on the back foot, he wasn't actually landing anything at all. But it was when he stopped, pawed out his jab, and then moved again, he was able to. So I don't think he's able to jab and move. But Fitzy, I don't think he's a great pressure fighter because he couldn't cut the ring off at all. But when they both went into their own game and Cheeseman came forward, he started landing good punches and bunches, and it was a nice fight. It was just a nice technical affair. It wasn't world class by any means, but it was a very good fight. I had a draw, man. Really tight.
Fair enough. Well, I trust your judgment on that for sure. So, like you said, if it was that close, there's no way anybody can call it a robbery. So
I've never scored 2 fights back to back on the same card, 115 even, until last night.
Wow. What was
5-5 and 2 rounds even.
was did you score the Ritz and Davis Jr.
Yeah.
a draw as well?
Yeah, 115 even.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Did you catch that one, Rafi, as well?
Yeah. I had what's his name? Fitzgerald. Is that his name? Fitzgerald. Yep. He was I had him in the center of the ring more often throughout the fight. He was and Cheeseman. He was circling around the outside for the majority of the fight. So in a close fight like that, then the guy who's in the middle of the ring will often be given the nod in terms of ring generalship. So I can understand why Fitzgerald got the nod. He was the one who, throughout the fight, tended to be in the middle of the ring, and Cheeseman, the one who was circling around the outside. I gave the nod to Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Was that pretty close though by your standards, you thought?
Yeah, it was very close. He was very close throughout. But I just had Fitzgerald as the guy who he just looked like the guy who was going after it. Simply because Cheeseman had his back. You know, he was circling around the edges of the ring, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Whereas Fitzgerald was the one who was always tended to be in the middle, certainly for the bulk of the fight. But robbery, no.
No way a robbery. No way. I don't know where people are coming off with a robbery. That was like as close to a draw or a 1 point swing as you can get.
It was a very close fight.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the scores. We got 2 116s to 113s. That's odd. Was there knockdowns in there?
No, there's a round even.
Oh, round even. Okay.
Yeah.
And one scored at 115, 113. So definitely a close fight. But
if you see two judges giving a round even in a fight, it's fucking tight.
Yeah. They're supposed to try not to do that if they can, but if it's that close, sometimes...
That means the 115, 113 was by the other judge. He didn't give a 10-10. He gave that one to Cheeseman.
Yeah.
It's indicative of how close it was that you got when you have judges giving draws.
Yeah.
Drawn rounds. That's indicative of how close it was.
All right. So, where do we see Scott Fitzgerald going next?
Anthony Fowler's his next fight, the rematch.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're talking about. Yeah, rematching him against Fowler.
Cool. Well, that'll be awesome. I'm just looking. I don't remember seeing the first one, to be honest. He obviously won it, did Fitzgerald, but it must have been close.
Yeah, he got a flash knockdown in the last round, and then he took it by a point.
Oh, okay. There we go. Split decision. Oh, wow. Hopefully.
That was a great fight, by the way.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to watch the rematch if it was that good first time round. So, very cool. Looking forward to when that happens next. Alright, so Alexander Gvozdyk versus Artur Beterbiev. Very good fight. You would have loved that one. Unrivaled.
Yeah, I did love it. I was on your show last week. You asked for my prediction. I told you Beterbiev.
You got it right too.
Man, be a stoppage. What a fight. It was so interesting. Gvozdyk was boxing great in spots, but Beterbiev, when he got on top of him, he got on top of him. The power, the shotgun jab, using his hand feints, bringing out different things from his amateur game that he hasn't used as a pro because he hadn't needed to. The way he was like trying to make Gvozdyk come back onto center line before coming in. But Gvozdyk kept trying to move off center, pivot off the jab, turn. But every time he did, he was getting... I'm going to be honest, this was a dirty fight from Beterbiev. There were a lot of rabbit punches.
There was.
A lot of rabbit punches. Quite a few low blows. Referee should have been a little bit more forceful, to say the least. but he got the job done, and he's a problem. He's an absolute he's so powerful. It's not even funny. Vojdic's an absolute warrior for being. Some people are like, he quit. He got hit with like 20 rabbit punches from one of the biggest punchers in the sport. And on top of that, he took clean shots throughout, and he never actually got dropped. He got thrown to the ground. His energy was sapped. And then in the last round, he pretty much had to take knees because of how much punishment he took. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal to watch. And Beterbiev just proved why most people had him the number one light heavyweight in the world back in 2014 without even having fought for a world title yet.
Yeah. I hadn't actually watched a lot of Beterbiev. I watched a couple of his fights and I thought, yeah, okay, this guy looks okay. But seen him in there against the boxer who can punch as well, and he... Shit, how do I put it? He's just an animal. He's a beast. He just keeps coming. He takes a few shots. I mean, Vojtic can punch, and he was landing here and there as well. But it didn't seem to affect Beterbiev whatsoever. He just ate them like Weet-Bix and come back for more. And he didn't seem like he was interested in boxing his way to victory. He wanted to go in there and he wanted to take him out. He eventually got it done, but... Man, I think Beterbiev beats Kovalev. Shit, he may even beat Bivol, but Beterbiev is one that I really want to see.
I'll be honest, I think he knocks Bivol's head off.
Yeah, I think Bivol's just a little bit small for 175, to be honest. I think he'd do better at 168, but...
Bivol's the best boxer in the division, bar Kovalev. But Bivol's boxing is tremendous. He's a better boxer than Beterbiev, but Beterbiev will get to him. Yeah. He'll get to him, he'll ragdoll him.
I think it's
too big, too strong.
Yeah, I think it's the same for anybody in the light heavyweight division. Beterbiev will get to them eventually, and I could see him becoming undisputed at light heavyweight if he keeps going the way he is.
If he gets the fight.
What was that?
If he gets the fights.
Yeah. Caleb Plant, he's at 168, isn't he? Was he 175? 168.
He's 168.
If he eventually moved up, that could be a decent fight, but
too small.
He's
too small.
Yeah, I'd probably rather see Bivol versus Caleb Plant would be a good fight at 168. But
right now, the only 168 pounder who could probably ply their trade at 175 is Callum Smith, just because of how big he is.
Yeah, he's huge, isn't he?
He's 6'4".
Yeah, he looks like he could do with a bit more weight on as well. He looks like a bit of a beanpole. But,
how old is he? Caleb? Has he got time to grow?
Oh, he's not that old. He's like 25 or something, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got growing time.
Yeah, but
yeah,
he's another one of those.
He's 25.
Is he? I'm guessing.
Who? Which fighter? Callum or Caleb?
Caleb.
Caleb's 27.
Okay, it's a bit older than that, so still got a little bit of time up his sleeve, but
still time to put on a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
He's 6'1". He's a big guy with a 74-inch reach. He's actually bigger than Beterbiev.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there'd probably be a few, like Kovalev's a bit bigger than Beterbiev as well, wouldn't he? So
that's the thing. It's not about Beterbiev. So it's like Usyk's 6'3". Beterbiev, a lot of people still feel Beterbiev was robbed that heavyweight in the amateurs at 91 kilos, so cruiserweight, yeah, against Usyk. This dude's a two-time amateur world champion at light heavyweight. Like, he had one of the best light heavyweight resumes in amateur history.
Yeah,
he's an absolute monster, and he's the amateur style. It suits like defensive fighters with slick skills, not just a come-forward guy. And he actually dropped Usyk at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Usyk didn't hit the canvas, but he got a standing count against him. And Usyk's way bigger.
Yeah. So, yeah, size isn't going to be an issue for Beterbiev.
No.
The way he fights.
No. He's just kind of commanding the middle of the ring once again. I mean, Gladznich, how do you pronounce his name?
Vojdic's
Vajdik. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the outside. Beterbiev always on the inside. The guy marching forward. You know. It was a really enjoyable fight again. It was really enjoyable. It was tit for tat until Beterbiev kind of overpowered him.
Yeah.
You know, but Vladzik, he kind of wrong-footed Beterbiev at times. He wrong-footed him. And caught him nicely at times. Rocked his head back at times.
I thought you said you didn't watch the fight.
Sorry?
I thought you said you didn't catch the fight.
Yeah, I caught. Oh, did I say that?
The Beterbiev Vajdik fight. Yeah. You did say earlier that you didn't.
I must have missed. Thought he was talking about a different fight. Yeah. I caught that one.
Okay. Cool as. Yeah, there was times definitely there where Vajdik was getting backed into a corner, but he'd turn out of it, and Beterbiev would be like looking, where'd he go? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's got pretty good footwork, and he's a fairly good boxer as Vajdik. So, congratulations to Beterbiev though. Great performance. He did the job pretty much what most expected. Hunt him down, break him down, stop him. I think Vajdik can come again though.
Definitely. He's skillful. Very, very skillful, and he had. It's been a while since I've seen Teddy Atlas in the corner.
Yeah. Yes, giving some good advice there too. I thought was Teddy.
Yeah.
Teddy was in the corner for Vajdik versus Stevenson.
Yeah. There was also the Luis Collazo fight on there versus. What, do you want to say his name, Unrivaled?
Which one?
You know, the long one starting with A.
Is that the fight? Is that the dude who fought Collazo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Quadratilo Abdul-Kakarov.
Abdul-Kakarov. Okay.
Abdul-Kakarov.
Say that 10 times fast. So Abdul-Kakarov got the win there. Did a pretty good job.
I didn't see that one.
I only saw the end of it, to be honest, so I can't comment too much on it, but I didn't think Collazo was going to get past Abdul-Kakarov in that one anyway, but did you see that one, Rafi?
No, sorry, I muted myself. No, I didn't see that one. See that one.
Sweet as. You want to give us your rundown on it then, Unrivaled?
What makes you think I seen it?
Ah, well, it's not often you miss a fight, mate.
No, I did.
Yeah, see?
Collazo was trying to come forward. He's trying to get the jab off, but Abdul-Kakarov was turning him at the start of the fight, kept turning him, pawing out the jab. Collazo was getting a couple of shots off to the body, but Quadratilo, like, he was picking up the earlier round, so he picked up the first three, and then Collazo started to fight his way in. He started to wear down Abdul, and as he started to land little shots onto his body, he was slowing him down. As a couple of the rounds progressed, I had a 3-2 going into the sixth. Then it went again. He started turning him off the jab from Abdul again. Started turning him side to side. He was going backwards as Luis Collazo kept trying to go him into the corner, trying to goad him in there to get the shots off. But once he got him over to the corner, he got slipped out, turned, and got caught with hooks. So after 8 rounds, I had a 5-3. Then in the 9th round, I had 6-3 to Abdul because he was landing that jab again, turning. And that was pretty much the fight. After the headbutt and the technical decision came in, like, because of the accidental clash of heads in the cut. But it was a decent fight. 1/3 of the rounds to Collazo. He put on a decent performance and he got a bit out of the kid. Abdul, he's the mandatory for the IBF now, which is for Errol Spence's belt. But if Spence is fully fit and stuff, he should be able to beat the shit out of him. If Collazo's causing you problems when Collazo's shot, I mean, that pretty much is writing on the wall there for that title fight. He's a slick boxer, but he is what he is. He's a B-level fighter, at best. He's not good enough to compete with those welterweights, Thurman, Pacquiao, Spence, Crawford, Sean Porter. I don't even think he could compete with Mean Machine, to be honest. I think he'd be a good fight for someone like maybe David Avanesian or Josh Kelly or Ray Robinson and around that ilk. Outside of that, no.
A stepping stone fighter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Ugas would beat this kid.
Oh, okay.
Ugas is beat.
Yep. So it should be another walk in the park for Errol Spence until he gets a fight that he wants to try and unify. Looks like that'll probably be his next fight then. So it is what it is.
If it gets called, it's his next fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm not exactly sure when that.
How Spence is? Anybody know how Spence is?
Spence is fine. He's probably.
Has anybody heard about Spence? Is he fine? Is he fine, or is he just no dead? Is he fully recovered?
The rumours are that he's fine, that he's okay. Rumours saying that he's out of hospital, but there's been no official statements there.
Because the actual the actual statement that got released by the Dallas police at the very first statement.
Yeah.
That was the way they worded that statement was that the person been in a crash and that they were alive. See when you put something like he's alive, that made me think that it was like a brain injury or something in the background. But if he's only broke his teeth, he's done well. He's got plenty of money to get them fixed, didn't he?
Yeah, well, from
Well,
what
he was in a.
Where you go, Reffy?
All right. Well, he was in the ICU, the intensive care unit. So it must have been. There must have been some level of seriousness at some point. But it appears that he's out. He's fine. He's tweeting. He's tweeting saying no broken bones. He seems ebullient.
I'm a savage.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He seems ebullient. So it seems like upwards and onwards. I mean, obviously there was a point at which there was speculation that he wouldn't be able to fight again. A lot of people were speculating the hype with that. But apparently he's a savage. So boom.
Mm.
I swear words allowed, you know.
What was that, sorry?
I swear words allowed.
Yeah.
He's an absolute fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
He's a dickhead.
You should be stripped there. See if you're an up and coming boxer, you would get demoted for that. See if you're a world champion and you do something as idiotic as that to go drink driving and then put out a tweet like that, you shouldn't be allowed your belt. Like, you should be stripped of that belt. There's got to be some sort of fucking. You've got to be setting an example.
Well, to be putting out a statement like that, you know, no broken bones, I'm a savage, on the day you get released from hospital, and then the tweet gets deleted within minutes, it suggests to me that maybe there is some kind of brain injury, because that was just that was just fucking stupid, man.
Yo, but you look at it this way though. But maybe the guy is just happy to be alive. If you was in that car and you saw that damn thing rolling and you watched it back, somebody showed you the footage, maybe you're gonna have a rush of endorphins and you're gonna say, bloody hell, I'm a savage. Yeah. I'm not defending it, by the way. Carry on.
I can understand what you're saying.
Unlikely, though. That's very unlikely. I think most people would be like, thank God I'm a fucking alive.
Yeah. Thank God
I'm
alive.
I'm a savage. I'm a fucking savage, and then put it up on social media. Thought process.
That's the thing. Like, thinking you're a savage is different. When you're in hospital, if you come out of a car crash like that, you'd be joking with the doctors and saying, I'm made of steel. Do you know what I mean? But you wouldn't go on Instagram or Facebook and put that out, or Twitter. You wouldn't. You don't go on social media and put that up. You can have a joke with your mates about it, but that's completely different.
Yeah.
Also, after being in a car crash rolling 5 times, how long do you think it took him to actually write that message out?
Could have been a couple of weeks. But you know, when you've got a DWI or driving while influence, you've got no seatbelt, excessive speed in a, what would you call it, a suburban area. All those factors, you should be, you know, well, he could have been like a ambassador for learning a lesson about drink driving and speed, and he could have been an advocate for people to wear their seatbelts, don't drink and drive, don't speed, this sort of thing. But once he put that statement out, that is gone, totally gone. Most people look at him and think, what a fucking idiot. It's to me, it sounds like he sounds like he didn't learn his lesson whatsoever.
I don't know, but if you're a boxer, see if you were Crawford, you'd be sitting there thinking of him crashing at 100 mile an hour, the car flipping 5 times, and he managed to walk away for that. I wouldn't want to fancy fighting Spence. It's fucking, his bones are made of some strong stuff, aren't they?
Titanium.
You know, also him
He must have been ejected from it instantly. There was no way he did a full flip.
Yeah, I've been through that footage so many times trying to see if I can spot him anywhere, but I can't see him anywhere.
Can't see him.
So he must have been out on the very first flip.
Yeah.
Out on the first flip. It's logical. It's logical that he'd been out on the first flip.
Yeah. He might have even
No
flew out
seatbelt
before.
on, cars had dropped up.
Yeah. It might have even flew out of the car before it even hit, before it flipped over. When it first hit that medium barrier, you could have flown out then. So
I think it's more likely that he flew out on the first flip.
Indeed.
You know,
but
I think. But as far as being an ambassador for the sport, a lot of these guys they're not ambassadors. Look at Kovalev.
No, he's a shocker too. Isn't he?
Look at Kovalev. He's due up in court. He's due up in court soon, isn't he? For punching that woman in the face when she declined his advances.
Apparently, he's trying to appeal that too.
Yeah, a lot of these guys aren't ambassadors. I mean, as far as Spence is concerned, I think they can still talk to him and say, well, obviously he took down the tweet, so obviously there's somebody's talking to him. They can still talk to him, and I think there's still time for him to turn around and understand what he did, understand the message, the bad message it sent out, and understand that he is in a position to influence the youth. And I think there's still time for them to counsel him and talk to him, and it's still time for him to understand that the messages, multiple messages that he sent out, were not good for up and coming boxers, anybody up and coming that's looking up to him. You know, the youth. Basically, it's a bad message for the youth. Drink driving alone is a bad message for the youth, and somewhere with adults. Driving at speed is a bad message for the youth. Driving without the necessary safety precautions is a wrong message. He just sent out some old school message. That's some old school message. Go on, have a drink and a drive. You remember that song? In the summertime, have a drink and a drive? Yeah? That's some old school shizzle.
Yeah. So if he comes out and, admits that he was wrong to do what he did and so on and so forth, then there's a way back for him as a public or as a role model for younger up and coming boxers and just younger up and coming men in general.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to see it.
No.
Will we see it? I don't know.
Saying sorry doesn't make it better.
No.
The only thing he could do is go out and never do it again. Like, the only way you can show that you learn is never to do it again. Going out and saying sorry doesn't make anything better. He has to just go out, fight, and keep his head down. But he's not capable of doing that. He's going to be wanting pay-per-view money every fight. And as soon as you earn that kind of money, he's never going to get that lifestyle up, is he?
You get greedy.
We don't know. We don't know. It's a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, he's had a near-death experience. If you don't learn from that, you're not going to learn from anything. But as to what he will have learned, clearly he'll have to learn. If he doesn't, then that doesn't bode well for his future.
Indeed. So, one other thing about that, I'm wondering why he was put into ICU. Was it precautionary, possibly for some kind of brain injury? Because obviously he's taken some kind of head knock, losing his teeth and facial lacerations. Or was he just put into ICU because he's famous? I don't know, but it certainly threw a lot of us logical thinkers off at the time. You don't go into
Yep.
ICU for even just broken limbs. You go in there if you're having trouble breathing, or if you've got brain bleeds, or something that's life-threatening. So my guess, it was just precautionary, but what do you guys reckon?
Possibly precautionary.
Yeah.
Just in them, and when they realised maybe they had to take him in there just because of how severe the crash was, just to check him, and then when he's okay, take him out. I don't know how it is in America. I don't know. Will all the wards have the proper
The
equipment?
thing with the ICU and everything, like if you were in a car crash, it's standard procedure in the US. This is what I've asked other Americans anyway. It's normally a standard focus to go to ICU if you've been in a car that's flipped 5 times, just in case of internal damage. So that makes sense.
Okay.
Just for the machines for like brain scans and stuff, they might only have the machines in ICU.
Okay. See, I would have
Yeah.
thought that would have done most of the assessments in the emergency room, but I guess.
Well, I thought
They go,
that he was in the ICU because he was seriously damaged.
Yeah.
But evidently, that's not the only option. Evidently, it could be a matter of making sure all your vital signs and whatever, all your function, strap you up to those ICU machines, whatever, your brain function, your heart function, etc., heart, lungs. I guess they were just, I guess it's the VIP treatment, isn't it, really? It's the equivalent of the VIP suite, isn't it?
I guess so. And
Yeah.
somewhat with the police as well. I think he's got a bit of special treatment with only getting a DWI. I think he should have been
Yeah.
slapped with a no seatbelt, speeding.
You def-
And from what I hear in America, anything 30 miles over the speed limit is a felony. So he was definitely going. What's a suburban speed limit in America? Around 30 mile an hour or something like that?
Well, whatever speed he was going that enabled him to flip his car multiple times, we know that he was driving at excessive speed. The police have said so.
Yeah.
It was excessive speed, police reports. He had the it looks as if he had the VIP treatment in hospital, and he's getting the VIP treatment from the police also. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah. Oh, fingers crossed he does actually learn his lesson out of all of it, and we'll see him back in the ring maybe early
Yeah,
next year.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, like an absolute savage.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, lads. We'll move on from that. We've got a few fights coming up, weekend coming. The first card, obviously, is the Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis unification for the WBSS final. It's a great fight, and like I've been saying all along, is somewhat being carried by the heavyweight chief support event between Derek Chisora and David Price. But how do you guys initially think the Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis fight's gonna go? You want to kick that off, Double A?
I'll be at the fight. I'll be
Yeah.
travelling up to watch that. But I'm worried for Taylor. But I really do like Taylor, but I think Prograis is trouble. I'm going to bet Taylor because the odds are there for him, but it's going to be a real good fight. I'm going to take Taylor to win on points. I think he's capable, but it's some fight though. That is number 1 and 2 again, isn't it? That is a great fight.
Sure is.
I'm going to have to back Taylor. Taylor should win that.
Okay.
We'll see though. He is up against it though. I don't think Taylor should be the favourite in that fight either, but I've got him to win. We'll see though.
Okay. What do you reckon, Unrivaled?
Taylor's more proven, better resume. Regis' best win is Karol Relic. Taylor's got Postol and he's got Ivan Baranchik. Those are 2 very good names. I mean, Terry Flanagan's no Baranchik. Relic's no Baranchik. Neither of Regis' best wins are anywhere near the same level as Postol. Regis is quite cerebral on the back foot. He is powerful, and he's also good at coming forward. Taylor, beautiful combination puncher, likes to fire high, low. It's a fight that I don't think many people should really bet on, to be honest. I think it's another 50-50. Kind of like how I felt with Beterbiev Vojtic in a way. It's kind of hard to tell what level both guys are at. It's kind of hard to tell the strength and depth in that pool of talent at 140. It looks pretty good. But we kind of need to see it. I mean, we know Prograis beat Julius Ndongo, but how good was Ndongo? So
Yeah.
it really comes down to it. I haven't made a pick yet. I don't even know who I'm picking. I think I might sit on the fence, to be honest. I might not even just put a guess out.
Just watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet. I disagree that like it's being carried by the heavyweight fight. I mean, the heavyweight fight's kind of one-sided. I mean, Chisora's gonna knock out David Price. I think most people know that. We want to make it seem more competitive. Price will have a bit of competitiveness for 4 rounds, but Chisora, unlike Allen, knows how to fucking pressure somebody. Dave Allen's not a good pressure fighter. If you think David Price looking good against Dave Allen coming forward, when Allen, all of his best wins have been coming off of him catching people on the counter as they rush in.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So I think Chisora's going to take David Price's head off and knock him out hard, or suck the life out of him within 6. And then Prograis Taylor, that's just a 50-50 that I can't decide on.
Fair enough. You want to give
Would these make about Chisora? Would these make about Chisora? Because, like, when was the last time Chisora headlined an event where he was at A-side? Was it Monaco?
Yeah,
Was that the last time he headlined a thing?
Yeah. Monaco against Cabiel for sure.
But before that, when was the last time he headlined a fight and he was at A-side? I don't even know if he actually ever headlined a fight as at A-side. Maybe 50-50 with Tyson Fury, the first fight. But he's not, I don't know. Frank Warren said that he offered him more to fight Dubois. Was it Dubois?
Yeah.
He offered Chisora more money to fight Dubois than Chisora was getting to fight Parker. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning, because, was it Frank asked David Hay what Chisora was getting for the Price fight so he could try and offer more, and apparently he did. But I found it surprising that David Hay told him what he was earning.
No, because that's his manager. That's his manager's there to make deals. That's his job. David Hay's job's to find the best money he can for Chisora.
Yeah, well, David Hay should be saying, look, I'm not telling you how much he's earning. Give me your best offer so you can so you can try and work the offer up higher. You know?
It's like the other day, did you hear Dave Allen give an interview? Dave Allen went to Frank Warren and said to Frank Warren he wanted so much to fight Dubois because he knew how much Dubois' opponents were getting.
Yeah.
Because it's no an open secret to how much you get paid. But I would have liked to see Chisora versus Dubois as a better fight than Price versus Chisora, but I suppose being on an undercard kind of makes it even, doesn't it? So I don't know. If Price beats Chisora, that'd be good for boxing.
Yeah. We'll get to that fight in just a minute. I'd like to quickly get Rafi's opinion on Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis. You got any thoughts on that one?
Yeah. Well, we got number 1, Ramirez. Number 2 ranked Prograis. Number 3 ranked Taylor. How do you separate Prograis from Taylor? How do you objectively separate that? Yeah. Does Prograis? It's just. I mean, how can you objectively separate them? I mean, it's 50-50 across the board. It's 50-50. Everybody's saying, anybody who thinks Prograis is going to win is saying it's by a slim margin that I think is going to win. Anybody who's saying Taylor's going to win is saying it's by a slim margin that I think is going to win. It's just one of those fights which is, I don't know. I really don't know. If you pick a guy then you could equally pick the other guy.
Yeah.
There's arguments for both guys winning. It really appears to be a 50-50 fight. It really well, until it happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, until it happens. But until it happens, I don't see how you can really objectively split those guys. You can have an argument, but that's all it is. Because at the end of the day, Taylor could outbox him and get the points win. At the end of the day, I mean, what I can say is if it's a stoppage, then I would think that would favour Prograis. If it goes to the points, then I think that would more likely to be Taylor. That's what I can say. But no further than that, I can't.
Yeah. Like Unrivaled said, I think the only advantage you could argue about is Josh Taylor's resume being a bit stronger than Prograis, but that doesn't necessarily mean Prograis not as good as Taylor either.
Exactly.
So it's a tough pick. I think I'm probably going to lean towards Taylor on points in this one, simply because he's closer to the home fighter. But like you said, Rafi, I think if someone's going to get a stoppage, it's probably going to be Prograis, and that's his best chance of winning, is getting the stoppage. I think. I don't think Taylor's got a huge advantage due to being at home. I mean, it's not really home because he's Scottish, isn't he? So it's only
about 300 miles away from home.
Yeah, and he will have quite a few fans follow him down there, and
He will.
There's definitely some support he'll have from England itself as well. So we'll see how it goes, but very tough fight to pick, and you're a brave man if you bet on it. So
very brave.
We'll move on to the Chisora versus Price fight. Now, I'm thinking the same as everybody else. I think Derek Chisora is going to put the pressure on. He's going to stop David Price between rounds 4 and round 6 for me. But my comment earlier about carrying the card doesn't mean that I think the fight is a great fight. What I mean by that is both guys are locals and they both have a decent fan base. So for me, a lot of the tickets that are going to be sold are going to be from the fans of these guys who might not necessarily be full-time boxing fans either. So that's just my thoughts on it. But definitely I think Chisora is going to stop Pricey. And that might be the end of it. So, anybody want to talk about the fight itself? You want to have a go there, Rafi?
Yeah. Chisora, I guess, is the favorite. Everybody's saying Chisora is going to win. Me, I'm not writing Pricey off. Pricey's on a high. Chisora is the favorite. Yeah, I agree. But Pricey's coming in on a high. His ambitions back, it seems. He's got the David Allen fight under his belt. A lot of people favored Allen. Everybody wrote Pricey off. I'm not writing Pricey off. I'm looking forward to Pricey using the jab, using the stick and move. Listen, Pricey shocked a lot of people last time out. He can do it again. That's what I'm saying.
It could happen. I mean, he's got a big punch. He's a huge dude. He nearly knocked out Povetkin. But yeah, I'm not writing
Pricey off, mate. I'm telling you, I'm not writing Pricey off.
Well, it doesn't matter who he steps in the ring, and he's always got a chance because he's got a big punch. But for me, you touch him on that chin after he's been gassed out a bit. Price is going to sleep. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Very likely.
Yeah. What do you reckon, the Unrivaled? Oh, they're gone. Oh, both of them are gone. It's just us.
What the hell's going on? What the?
Oh, well. Bye then, guys.
Is there a party going on we haven't been told about? What's going on?
Must be something going on somewhere, man. It's all good.
Saturday night party going down. We haven't been invited.
Alright, well, I'll have a look at the rest of this card. I'll just get it up on screen. Give me a sec here.
Yeah.
Chrome, there it is. Here we go. Here's the card on screen. So next down the list, under the heavyweight fight, we've got Ricky Burns, who's 43-7-1, and he'll be taking on Lee Selby, 27-2. Could be an interesting fight. Ricky Burns, he's getting a bit long on the tooth now too, though, isn't he? So I might be favouring Lee Selby in that one, but I think it's a pretty competitive fight. What say you, Rafi?
Ricky Burns, Lee Selby. Well, Ricky Burns getting how old did you say he was?
I didn't. I'll look him up. I just thinking he's getting longer in the tooth. His age, he's 36 years old now.
36 years old.
He's got
getting long.
50 odd fights under his belt. So
veteran. We're still looking fresh. Lee Selby coming up younger, fresher.
Lee Selby, 32.
Are we betting? Are we picking? Is that what we're doing? Are we picking?
Yeah, have a pick, mate.
Oh, okay. Gonna go with the younger guy. Gonna go with the younger, fresher, alias Lightning, Selby.
Fair enough. I'm the same. I'm gonna go Lee Selby. I'll probably go out on points. Have we got any heavyweight dust-ups? We've got a cruiserweight fight on here. How do you say that one? Nugbu? Yas Nugbu, who's 20-0.
Nugbu. Eves. That's Eves, isn't it? Eves. I know that from Eves Edwards, MMA fighter.
Okay.
Eves Nabu. Not that I would know, but anyway.
He's 20-0, taking on Martin Bacoli. Sorry, not Martin Bacoli. Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence. 20-0 experience. Versus the he's unbeaten as well. He's unbeaten. They're both unbeaten.
Yeah.
They're both unbeaten.
Eves Ngabu.
Eves Ngabu. Okay, thanks, Double A.
He's a Belgium cruiserweight who trains with Ingles Gym in Sheffield. Yeah, I've seen him spar before in Ingles Gym when I've been up there. He's really, really good. He's a really good technical southpaw.
Ooh, could be a good fight for Okolie then.
Okolie.
Yeah. He's got that Ingles style. Already. It's really good. He's a monster. He's an absolute monster. That'll be a good fight.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look through. How'd you say his name again? Ngabu. Yeah. Looking through his resume, and there's not many names I recognise on there, being 20-0. But I'll take your word for it, Double A. If you think he's pretty good boxer.
He's a EBU champion. He's been fighting. He fights in Belgium. He's got a Belgium deal, so he's had to fight in Belgium all the time. This would be his first fight outside Belgium, I'm sure, as well. Yeah, he's good. It should be a real good. Okolie should probably be too big for him, even though he's a technically good boxer. Okolie's just massive, and he just leans on you, he just spoils everything.
Yeah, we've got no size stats on this guy, Ngabu, on BoxRec.
I think he's about 6'2".
Okay. 30 years old. 70% KO ratio, 20-0. So it'll be interesting. I haven't seen this guy before, so I'll definitely be watching that one. But basically, because I've never heard of him, I've got to pick Okolie in that one.
For very similar reasons as your own, Jono.
At least we're honest,
Yeah, you got to be honest. I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, I remember seeing him last year. No, No, I don't know this cat. If he's training out of the Ingle gym. How long has he been training at the Ingle gym, by the way?
Since November last year, about a year, I think.
Huh.
I think he's been there about a year now.
Huh. So if he's training at the Ingle gym with the Ingle style, obviously the guy is no fool. Obviously he should have some powers of evasiveness, but I don't know the cat. I do know a Coley. I'm going with the Coley. But knowing what we know now, then obviously it adds a little interest to the fight, doesn't it?
Yeah. You got a pick there, Double A? You going to Coley as well?
I'm going to go with Coley. He's a spoiler, isn't he?
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, Ngannou can box. Brendan Ingles will have a game plan. If he can get that game, Dominic Ingles, if he's got that game plan right, he could beat O'Coley. He's capable of beating O'Coley. But O'Coley's he's a spoiler, and he's horrible to watch.
Well, come the weekend, if there's odds like 20 to 1, I might go and throw $2 on the guy just in case.
Nah,
Yeah.
John, the bookies on the daft. That guy's probably going to be maybe 3 to 1 or something. O'Coley will be favourite, but it'll not be stupid odds, I don't think.
Okay.
Ah.
All right. Next one down the list, we've got Conor Benn, the son of the legend, fighting Laszlo Toth, who is 28-5-1. I don't know this guy at all. So once again, don't know him, so I've got to pick Conor Benn. But this guy is 5'11.5", no registered reach. He is 31 years old, so he's pretty much in his prime. Has a KO ratio of 55%, so not looking too bright for this guy, I don't think. But anybody got an opinion on that one?
Well, Conor Benn, he's the guy, the upcoming guy. He's the touted guy. This guy, Laszlo Toth from Hungary. You never know, it could be the secret weapon, but if he's the secret weapon, we don't know about him. So clearly, I would have to go with the guy we know, Conor Benn. Yeah, I think his knockout ratio is significantly better than Laszlo's. Experience. Laszlo is more experienced. But we know what we're getting with Conor Benn. We know what we're getting. He's going to go out there reckless.
Yeah.
Probably get touched up a little bit by Laszlo, and then finish him. That's what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. You're pretty much in the same opinion there, Double A?
It's a potato can for a minute. It's just somebody for a punch for a bit.
Yeah.
Conor Benn's a joke. Honestly, Conor Benn. He should just stop boxing. He's fucking ranked number 10 in the WBA, and he's the 13th best in Britain. That tells you everything about the guy.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much been riding his daddy's name, and he's had a couple of close calls early on. So,
He had a few close calls. Yeah, even his last.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much quality there.
He's been in the WBA top 10 rankings for about 7 or 8 months. Could you imagine him for a world title shot? Can you imagine Conor Benn getting a ball into defence? That would be
funny.
Nah,
Get his head
he's not even
smacked
British level, is he?
No.
He's not even. Honestly, I don't know. It depends. I think. Have you ever heard of Joe Laws? You ever seen that Joe Laws fight?
Yeah.
I think Joe Laws would give him a good fight, and I don't think Joe Laws is British level.
Wow. So I wonder what got him into the WBA rankings. Do you think maybe they thought his dad had come back and they got them confused?
Nah, he's got that belt. He's got that stupid belt. Eddie Hearn. He's got that Eddie Hearn belt, hasn't he? The WBA Continental or whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah. Holds a bit of weight.
He's got he's got a ranking belt.
Okay. There wasn't too much more on the rest of that card, but sorry, Double A, you were going to say something?
No, it was me. I was going to say, well, how fast do you think they're going to progress him, Conor Benn? How fast do you think they're going to push him?
Oh,
No,
man.
well, they're looking at. They've got to try and get with. He's got to fight for the British eventually. They were looking at Chris Jenkins for that, but it never pulled through. They're going to put him. He's going to go fight for the British and defend. I don't think they're ever planning on putting him in a world title fight. I don't think they're planning on. I don't think he thinks he's going to go that far in his mind either. I think he wants to win the British.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make any sense them pushing him towards a world title belt. That's what I was thinking. That would make no sense. So he's best off just, what is he, 18 now? 18 fights. He's best off just fighting British level for his next 10 fights, really.
Seems that way here. Be very careful with their matchmaking, I think, with him, and just make enough money to get by and be happy with that. So
exactly.
I don't know. Do you know that? Do you know Nigel Benn lives in? Obviously, he's emigrated to Australia.
Yeah.
He's been in Australia for a few years. He owned lots of property and stuff. And I watched an interview with Conor Benn. Only got into boxing. He says he got into boxing because he wants to get enough money so he can move out to Australia and buy some properties and be his own property developer. He didn't want to use his dad's money. So he just he wants to live a bit until he's maybe retire in his 30s and done something in his life and then kind of follow his dad into property developing. That was always his plan. So I don't think I've never heard him talk. I've heard him talk about fighting Josh Kelly and that, but I've never heard him talk about wanting to be world champion or that.
Yeah. So maybe he's not quite as silly as we thought. Maybe.
The interview I saw, the interview I saw with him, they were talking about how he kind of came up, how he just was Conor. We're talking about Conor, how he just wasn't interested in boxing, etc. And then one day it's like a switch flip. However, I remember an old documentary on Nigel Benn. I think he'd left England and he'd immigrated out to Spain. And I remember him either in the house or in the garage, Nigel, this is, holding some pads, and this little kid smacking the stuffing out of those pads.
Yeah. That
kid, I imagine, was Conor Benn. So there would always have been a seed there somewhere. If your dad's been a notorious world champion, there's clearly always a seed there somewhere. And clearly him and his dad have been mucking about in the garage for many years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So boxing was always going to be an option for him. As far as the property development is concerned, apparently the mum holds the purse strings. She don't waste a penny. Nigel credits her with him getting on the straight and narrow. Yep. You know, we saw what happened to Chris Eubank. He was the master of the purse strings, and he pretty much went bankrupt, didn't he?
Behind every good man, there's a good woman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So Nigel, Chris Eubank was holding the purse strings. He went bankrupt. Nigel Benn's missus held the purse strings. They're property developers, and Conor Benn got the boxing bug. I think he's got the boxing bug. I don't think he can do it without the bug. He's got the boxing bug, and he's got a great blueprint in his parents in about how to handle money.
Yeah. Was there another brother as well? Conor's got a brother, doesn't he?
He's got a couple, I think. No. He's got another brother. He's got another brother from a previous marriage, as well as Harley. So you got Harley, who is, I think, 1 week difference between each other. 1 week difference, and there's an older brother from a previous, at least one older brother from a previous relationship.
There is. The older brother that boxes is... I watched him box, actually. I seen him fighting live in Leeds. Was it Leeds or Oldham last year? What's his name? He's a massive cruiserweight. The guy's he's one of the crazy vegan people. He doesn't... He's never eaten meat in like 10 years. He's only fought a few times.
Hold on, are you sure you're talking about Ben's son or are you talking about Eubanks'
Oh,
son?
you're right. I'm a total. It is.
yeah,
It's Chris
Eubanks'
Eubanks'
son.
son I'm thinking
That's
about.
right. Yeah.
You're talking about one of the
It is.
Eubanks, yeah. Yeah,
It
you're
is.
talking about one
It
of the
is.
Eubanks. Yeah, because Ben's older son, well, the one I'm aware of, I mean, bloody hell, Nigel got around, didn't he? But the one I'm aware of, he's not into boxing. But as for the Eubanks, yeah, they got three. Chris has got three boxing sons. He's got Chris Jr. He's got the vegan one that you're talking about, the light heavyweight or cruiserweight, whatever he is. And who's the other one?
The boxer as well, the third one.
Aye, there is. There's three of them.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
But I can't visualize him. I can't remember. Can't visualize. Okay, well that's that then. That's my memory. My memory bank's collapsed.
I'll have to do a bit of research about those two families, I think, as well. I'd like to educate myself a bit more about that sort of thing, so I'll get to that after the stream. Alright, we'll have a quick look into some of the heavyweight schedule coming up. We've got the monster Razvan Kajanu is going to be fighting this weekend, and he's going to be fighting a nobody. Trying to get back on track after a run of losses. Really, he's fighting a guy who's 4-13.
Who did he last fight? Who did Razvan last fight?
Was it Dubois last? Hold on, we'll have a look.
Was he Hunter?
No, Daniel Dubois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He lost to Daniel Dubois. He lost to Nathan Corbin. He lost to Luis Ortiz. Lost to Joseph Parker. Those are his last 4 fights.
Bloody hell.
So he stepped up in level and lost all of them. So this next guy he's fighting, I'll just have a quick look at him. I don't think too much of him. Like I said, he's 14 losses, 1 draw. He's 26 years old. He's got he's 5'11", a heavyweight. So Razvan Kajanu's 6'7".
Bloody hell.
It's gonna be a midget fights a giant. And the guy comes from Georgia, the country Georgia, not the state.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, next door to Alabama.
Quite. I think Georgia is what's located close to South Africa there, somewhere in it. Or is it?
It's Russia. One of the ex-Russian states.
Ah, okay. Next to
Georgia.
We call it South Russia.
Okay. Cool as. So yeah, don't expect that guy to have too much chance against Razvan Kajanu. But the next one down the list is another ranked fighter. Where is he? Oh, I've lost it. Kyutaro Fujimoto, the Japanese fighter.
Is Hero fighting some middleweight again?
Again, a guy that he's already knocked out.
I think I seen that on Boxing Squared. I think Boxing Squared was talking about that.
Yeah, I saw he mentioned it the other day, yeah. I don't see the purpose behind it.
Maybe he wants to knock him out again.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Mad.
That was this weekend too, I think. Where are we? The date? Oh no, it's tonight. Monday, 21st of October.
Oh,
Is that on TV?
TV, have we got TV on here? Doesn't look like it. I'll go into the belt, because usually it's on there, isn't it? That Kajanu fight must be today as well then. Looking at the schedule. Promoters. No televised. Doesn't say anything about televising. Unfortunate. I have a quick look at the Kajanu one too and see if there's something televised. Just can use that stream that you sent me. AA. the event. Where's the event? No, that one's got no televised either. Just promoter.
I'll have a look and see if I can maybe find a link. I watched all the fights for Germany last week. I watched the Kevin Johnson fight, and I'm always finding good links, good fights. I watched the Kamil Sokolowski fight as well at the weekend.
Yeah, I've seen you sent me that link. I haven't got around to watching that one. Who did he fight? Was it anybody of note?
Oh, no, there's a tournament, the Ultimate Boxer. Have you heard the Ultimate Boxer?
Oh yeah, 4-round format one, eh?
That's on in November in Manchester. There's 8 people in that, and Kamil Sokolowski's in that, so he was kind of having a warm-up fight for that.
Okay.
That's going to be quite good. It's 8 fighters, one night. So that wasn't a great fight.
Yeah.
Wasn't it great?
Okay. Alright, I've just found another fight that is scheduled for the 24th. So that's like Thursday, is it? Yeah. Thursday, between prospect George Arias, who's the guy who looks a bit like Muhammad Ali, who's 14-0, and he's going to be fighting another unbeaten prospect who's 10-0 in Gabriel Hernandez. So that could be interesting because
Where's that fight? Where's that?
that fight is going to be in the States. Well, in Brooklyn.
Okay.
There's a card on in Brooklyn. Just have a quick look at the card and see if there's anybody else on here. McGuigan Williams versus how do you say it? Trey Sean Wiggins. That's the main event.
Trey Sean.
Yeah, that's super lightweight, the main event. We've got a featherweight fight. There's the heavyweight fight. Is George Arias. He's quite a short heavyweight. I think he's only like 6 foot. His opponent is, where's his stats? His opponent's only 5'8". Holy shit!
Oh dear. Well, at least they've matched them up fairly.
Wow, 5'8" at heavyweight. That's unbelievable.
He must be like a little bowling ball.
But
Must be a little bowling ball.
looking at his face, he doesn't look like a fatty though.
No. Well, I'm on the wrong screen. Let's have a look. We can't. Oh, you haven't got him up. You haven't got him up on the thing there.
I'll put him up.
You're not-
Hold on, just
Okay.
a sec.
Yeah.
Chrome. Change that over.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Okay.
How did I get his face up? This is the guy, Gabriel Hernandez. 10-0.
Nice. Gabriel.
Doesn't
Bit of a
look
time
like
lag. Bit of a time lag. I can see the writing. Can't see the face yet. Oh, there he is. There he is. Gabriel Hernandez. 90% KOs. Gone 21 rounds from Toronto. 5'8".
What's he doing in heavyweight? Shit.
Yeah. You'd have thought he could. Well, he'd still be short for cruiserweight, though, wouldn't he?
Man, there's welterweights that are that
That's what I'm saying. He's going to have to drop down to middleweight or something.
Has he always been at heavyweight? Let's have a look here.
Oh, yeah. So,
Man,
short guy.
short guy doesn't look like he's fought anybody either, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, it might be a bit of a walk in the park for George Arias, I think, that one. But
Yeah. 5'8". I mean, damn. They're short heavyweights. Short heavyweights do exist, but 5'8's taking a mickey.
yeah, Arias has been somewhat found out a little bit, so he needs to work on a few things before he gets too serious, I think, anyway.
Yeah, he needs a fall guy.
Yeah. Who else is on this card? Not really. Oh no, I thought it was, what's his name, Franklin, but it's not. Featherweight, welterweight. Okay, let's see what else is on the schedule.
Yeah.
That's a profile. Get back. Here we go. Okay, George Arias. Next one down. 25th is Friday.
Yep.
Not worth looking at that one. Nor that one. Getting outside the top 100 here. Not my cup of tea.
No.
Any other cards you guys can think of the top of your head that you're looking forward to the weekend coming?
It's only me. It's only me here.
Okay.
No. I haven't really looked forward to anything really. I don't really tend to look on a week by week basis like you. I just deal with what's happened as it comes. You know what I'm saying? As it comes, I see it. I don't really tend to look.
Fair enough.
Look ahead that much.
I usually only do it on my streams, really.
Say again.
I only really look for what's coming up early in the week on my streams.
Yeah. That's you know. I just
kind of searching with everybody. There is another one here. Peter Milas, the Croatian prospect, 14-0, is fighting this weekend. He's the guy who stopped Kevin Johnson as well, but he stopped him on cuts. And he's going to be fighting Johnny Muller.
Johnny Muller. I'm going to guess Muller comes from Germany. That's my guess.
We're about to find out. Here he is. South Africa.
Oh, Johnny Muller of South Africa. Johnny Muller. Peter Milas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll be a pretty straightforward one for Milas again. He's another one of these up-and-coming fighters who has trouble getting the right kind of fights. He wants to fight those just outside gatekeeper level guys or mid-level gatekeepers at the stage, but he's a bit dangerous for guys on the rise.
Well, if he stopped Johnson, I mean, that's impressive.
It is. He's. We'll have a quick look at his record because he's a guy who's trying to get a fight with Filip Hrgović and have a Croatian showdown. He's rated the number 2 Croatian heavyweight at the moment.
Wow.
So.
And he's actively trying to get a fight with Hrgović.
Yeah. There's been a little bit of talk between the two recently, but Peter Milas, his last few fights, he fought Denis Bekdov, who at the time was 39-14. He stopped him. Prior to that was Miko Tintor. Don't know the guy. 14-1, so he wasn't too bad. I'm sure he had some better names on his records.
Francesco Pianetta.
Yeah, Francesco Pianetta, who he unanimous decisioned.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that was before Tyson Fury fought him. It was on the 16th of July 2000 last year, so getting close to that fight actually. And there's Kevin Johnson on his records. And prior to that, I don't think there's too much worth looking into.
No.
I was kind of alerted to him once he beat Kevin Johnson. I had heard of him, but hadn't watched him until then. And I was like, oh, hang on. This guy.
Yeah. One to watch. So I was just looking through Kevin Johnson's resume earlier on, and I couldn't remember him fighting. What's his name? Andy Ruiz. Do you remember that?
I don't remember seeing it live, but I did go back and watch it. I did find a copy of it, and it was a pretty much standard performance for like Kevin Johnson fighting a prospect. Lots of defensive action there from Kevin, but not a lot of offense coming back.
No offense. And he went the full distance. Went the full distance.
I think it was 10 rounds, that one, was it?
Yeah, I think it was a 10-rounder. And interestingly, that was like 11 months prior to Joshua. Yes. Joshua Ruiz.
Yep. But man, look at the names on his resume.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Who hasn't he fought?
He's for everyone, and what's more impressive is that he's still lucid. He still speaks clearly.
Yeah. He's even got his own promotional company that he's trying to get started. I suggest he stop boxing and concentrate more on his promotion at the moment.
Well, he says he's gonna stop boxing. He said the Bakoli fight, that's the last high-profile fight he's having. He's gonna have a couple more in Germany, which is gonna be associated with his promotional company, and that's it.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Absolutely, 100. He's still lucid, still speaks very clearly, but he's always been an evasive fighter. Yeah. So those guys are the ones who stand a better chance of getting out of the game with their faculties intact.
Yeah, definitely. So we want to see you retire, Kevin Johnson. We want you to see you keep all your brain cells at the same time.
Yeah, as many as possible. As many as possible.
Exactly. What else we got on the schedule here? Jakob Seglam. Haven't seen that dude around for a while. 42-5. He's fighting the mighty TBA this weekend.
TBA to be announced this weekend. They still don't know.
Yep, still don't know. So it can't be much of an opponent for him. But
might be Kevin Johnson.
It could be. In fact, that wouldn't actually be a bad fight. I think it wouldn't be bad at all.
Hold on to your brain cells, Kevin.
Yeah. How many more fights? There's a few heavyweight dust-ups on this weekend, but not a hell of a lot of them. High profile, but that's okay. If we get some televised, it's all good. The lower guys have got to get up there somehow. Oh, Artur Szpilka is fighting this weekend. Really? I thought he'd take a bit more time after nearly getting killed by Chisora.
Bloody hell. Yeah, I'd have thought so. Bloody hell.
Fabio, how do we say that one? Two-ish?
Where is Artur Szpilka and where is that guy's name? Can't even see the guy's name. Oh yeah, there he is, right in front of me. Fabio Tuash. Yeah, I'll go with that. Fabio Tuash.
Fabio Tushi.
Oh dear.
26-6. Who is this guy?
29-6. 29-6.
Sorry, 29-6. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, he is Italian.
Fabio.
6'2", about the same size as Artur Szpilka.
Yeah. Looks in shape. Physically.
In that picture, yeah.
In that picture, yeah.
45.7 KO percentage. So he's not a huge banger, but
no.
Who knows who's he's fought too? Because that makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. Not looking too bright. His resume. I fought Michelle Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
Got TKO'd by him. Okay, that doesn't say a lot for me because I don't think Michelle Wallace has much power whatsoever.
No.
Okay. So should be a straightforward comeback fight for Artur Szpilka after getting spectacularly knocked out by Derek Chisora. Man, I would have taken at least 6 months after that knockout. That was
Yeah,
huge.
I thought they would have. I thought it would be mandatory that he'd take some time out, but the guy don't seem to. He don't seem to believe. He don't seem to believe in that. In such a thing as brain trauma.
Yeah.
Clearly,
That card's going to be in Poland, so it'll be under a different commission to where he got knocked out. So that could have something to do with it.
Yeah. Because I mean, after getting knocked out, like I think some of these guys need to be safe from themselves. I mean, really and truly. I mean, every time you get knocked out, it's a concussion. Every time you drop to the ground, it's a concussion. Much less getting flatlined like the way he did. It's like the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
About what he's going to be like after in retirement, and I think that surely these guys need to be safe from themselves because some of them just don't seem to have the faculties to understand, comprehend, or care about life after boxing. I mean, for goodness sakes, I mean that should be a mandatory 6 months. When you get flatlined like that, it should be a mandatory 6 months out.
I agree. I mean, quite often in life, and it's not just in boxing, there's a very fine line between tough and stupid. So,
Yeah.
Some people like to walk that line. Some people, it's all fun and dandy wanting to get back on the horse and get your confidence back, but I'd give it a bit more time, like yourself.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the what's happened over the last week with Patrick Day. I mean, I would have thought that would have been a wake up call for everybody in the boxing industry. I mean, I went in on it on my thoughts on the Patrick Day situation. That I think that it's not going to be very popular with boxing purists. But I think we're seriously going to have to look at the MMA model, whereas as soon as you can't defend yourself, the fight's over.
Yeah.
So how that works is that you get knocked down in MMA, dropped to the ground, and you're momentarily scrambled. The fight's over.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, with the Patrick Day situation, when I watched, because I just, clicked onto the fight, and as I clicked onto the fight, he just got dropped the first time. And I looked at him and I thought, the fight's over. That was just on an instinctive level. On an instinctive level, I looked in his eyes and I thought, the fight's over. And I changed. I flipped onto a different channel. And then I flicked back again at a later point, and that's when he got, pretty much knocked down for the last time. Yeah. But to me, being in the MMA community for 10 years, having been in the MMA community for 10 years, to me, the first time he got knocked down, I was satisfied it was over.
Yeah. There's a lot of fights you can see where a fighter takes a shot and their arms drop down, and you can see in their eyes straight away that if they take one more punch, it's definitely going to be a knockout, but one more punch could be a step too far. Now, it's a split second when that happens for a referee to try and get between if the fight should be stopped at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
absolutely.
If referees start being a lot more cautious about that, there's going to be some situations where a fighter gets buzzed, drops his hands momentarily, and the ref's going to stop the fight, but the fighter puts his hands straight back up. But to a degree, it's better to be safe than sorry as well. So I can see both sides of the advantages.
Me too. Me too. And it opens up. You see, if referees start jumping in, it opens up the possibility of corruption.
It does indeed. Yeah, that's like a third point on top of it. So
that's a problem. I can see the problems. I can see the problems with the referees jumping in to save guys, because you can jump in to save one guy, and maybe there could be an element of corruption. You don't jump in to save another guy because he needs to get to a particular round. So once you got this jumping in to save people, then it just opens the door to corruption, unfortunately. So you see, that's the other side of the coin.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. Fights like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder would have got stopped.
Yeah.
Some fights where fighters have come back off the canvas to win fights would have got stopped.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem. That's the problem.
I think just a bit of common sense is all we need, and at times I think we go a bit too hard on referees. It's easy for us to make decisions in hindsight when we've watched the fight 3 or 4 times, and the referee's got to make those decisions on the spot.
Split decision.
Split seconds.
Second. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't blame the referee for the Patrick Day thing. It was just a feeling that I had when I looked into Patrick Day's eyes after the first knockdown. To me, I was satisfied. I just turned off because I thought I actually thought to myself, this is going to end badly. I didn't think it was going to end as badly as it did happen, but I was satisfied by the look in his eyes that he was going to get knocked out shortly thereafter. I was satisfied, and that's why I changed. I changed channels. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I didn't see that one live, but I did go and watch the fight, and after that first knockdown, I started to kind of feel a little bit sick because it had already. Everything had already happened, and I don't think in any normal situation, without hindsight, a referee would have stopped that fight, but
no,
I kind of wish they did, because he's a lovely dude.
100. Wish they did. But then my second point after that was, if they did stop the fight at that point, would he have automatically been taken to the hospital for a brain scan? Or could they have just said, okay, pat on the back, go on lad, better luck next time, and maybe he could have had an incident later on in the evening or the night. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. No, maybe it should be mandatory worldwide, even if it's a close fight and you're feeling fine. But if you've taken heavy shots all night, then you should be referred to a doctor to be looked over.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
that's what I said. If you get knocked down, my point is, one of my thoughts, opinions, something that I would like to see introduced into the game is, if you get knocked down, you should have a mandatory brain scan afterwards.
Yeah,
you should have to go to the hospital if you get if it wasn't a slip. If it's the referee should have on his card, should have to hand in a card after the fight. If fighter X got knocked down and it wasn't a slip, then it was a concussion, a minor concussion. That's a knockdown. Every knockdown's a minor concussion, or a concussion of some degree or other. If you momentarily got separated from your senses and that made you fall down, to me, it should be mandatory that you have to go to the hospital to have a brain scan.
Yeah, I agree.
Worldwide.
Yep, that's common sense. I'm down with that for sure.
Yeah.
Right, so we're kind of coming towards the end of the show, but there was one other heavyweight dust-up over the weekend that I did watch and I'd totally forgotten about. American prospect Sonny Konto had a first-round stoppage win. Well, it wasn't really a first-round stoppage. This guy he fought, Stephen Lyons, 5-5. He'd fought a few decent heavyweights and got a few losses, obviously, but he went through the first round, was getting pieced up, and then the ring physician stopped him coming out of the corner after the first round, so the fight was called off and Sonny Konto gets the win. But if you don't know anything about Sonny Konto, he's been in camp with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury even walked him to the ring on the weekend. So I was interested to see. I mean, I'd heard a little bit about Sonny Conto, but never seen him before. So
Yeah.
you could definitely see that he's been doing some training with Tyson Fury for sure. Now, I've just brought him up on screen now. He's
Okay.
6'4". A lot of people are gassing him up in America. He doesn't weigh a lot as a heavyweight. I mean, this guy could probably make cruiserweight if he wanted to. He weighed in at 214.25 pounds for this last fight, and
Okay.
pretty much the same for his last 2 fights. Or does that keep going? 217 was like 4 fights ago. It's always around the 217 to 215. But this guy, what I mean by you could see he was training with Tyson Fury, he's using a hell of a lot of feints, and it looks good. And he's got a pretty good jab to go with it. So, yeah, he was piecing up this Stephen Lyons guy. He's 6'4". I think from memory, because it's not on here, I think he's got a 78-inch reach. So he's
Who's this, Sonny Conto?
Sonny Conto, yeah. So he's pretty much the same dimensions as a Joseph Parker sort of thing, but a little bit lighter.
Age 23.
And he can box and move too. So interesting to see where he goes.
He might be one to watch.
I think so. See how he goes in the next sort of 12 to 18 months, and who he fights. Because I'm just having a quick look through his record, and there's not really anybody I recognise on there. So he's hooked up with Top Rank. They got a few heavyweights in there. I mean, guys have got even links to Top Rank that aren't actually signed to them, like Oscar Rivas has links to Top Rank as well. But they've got the Bryant Jennings, they've got Tyson Fury. They used to have Andy Ruiz, but not anymore.
Not anymore. I wonder if this guy is one of the guys who have you heard the complaint about somebody made, one of Tyson Fury's sparring partners have made, that he wears gloves in sparring without much padding in?
Ooh, first I heard of that one.
Yeah, I haven't read the article, but I've been busy. But I've seen that some comments have started popping up about. Let me see if I can find it. Where are we? Certain comments have popped up that Tyson, a sparring partner of Tyson Fury, said that he's wearing gloves. He's complained that he wears gloves in sparring that don't have much padding in.
Okay.
That's going to be a story that's going to pop up tomorrow and the day after, no doubt.
I wonder. Kubrat Pulev has been doing a bit of sparring with the Sonny Conto as well in the Top Rank gym, so it wouldn't surprise me if it'd be Pulev complaining about something like that.
Kubrat.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that story is gonna pop up tomorrow and the day after. I'm scrolling through the chat that I'm in, and I can't see it at the moment.
See if I can Google it and see what comes up.
Yeah. Still scrolling through.
Ben Davison ridicules accusations Tyson Fury takes out padding to hurt sparring partners. Here we go. So on Metro, so I've got the link here. I will drop this in the description. Oh, actually, I'll just chuck it in the chat for now.
Yeah. Chuck it in the chat.
Come back to that, but definitely worth a read, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if... Here we go. Let's see if this works for us. Get rid of that crap, whatever it is. Let's go.
Ben Davison ridicules accusation Tyson Fury takes out padding to hurt sparring partners. Fury is not sparring at the moment due to an eye injury. Picture. Getty. Ben Davison has vehemently denied Tyson Fury removes padding in his gloves to intentionally hurt his sparring partners. Nicholas Asbury, a sparring partner of Fury's, made the accusation in a video he claims proves the Gypsy King takes out the padding from his gloves. This is Tyson's S, and these are the sparring gloves we've been sparring, with Asbury said in a video he posted to social media. You can see there's no F padding in here. All the padding is in the back of his F glove. Look at that S dot. I could touch the other side of my finger. There's S falling out from the middle of the glove. Fury's coach Davison ridiculed the allegation.
Interesting. Could you hear that at all, Riffy?
Yeah, I could. It wasn't very loud, but I could hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick Asbury. Go look him up on social media and see what he's made a video about it. So
yeah,
I have heard of Nick Asbury before.
Okay.
But wow, that's a pretty serious allegation. But I guess it's not in a real fight. But still, no. Why do you want to hurt your sparring partners?
Yeah,
there to help you out.
Yeah. What the hell's all that about?
That's some out of it shit, man. But
it is.
Good call on picking that one up.
Yeah, I just heard it or saw it somewhere, and I saw somebody comment on it. I can't remember where. I said, "Yeah, I've heard that before." So I thought, So you mean the allegation is a pre-existing allegation?
Yeah. He's gone ahead and made this video, but there's nothing to say that he hasn't altered the gloves before he's made the video to try and get some attention on himself. But
yeah,
interesting to say the very least.
Absolutely, it's definitely going to be a story. I thought I'd break that here over here on BBB.
Thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
I have to go and do some research and maybe make a video about it now, but we'll see.
I think so.
I
think so.
I think that's about us for today, though, mate.
Yeah.
Very much appreciate you coming in, as per usual.
Always, likewise.
Always a pleasure. So, thank you very much. You got any final words there before we go, bud?
Final words. Do I have any final words? Well, I want to see. It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week this last week. Just gone for boxing. I want to see the moves made to make the sport safer. What is it? 5 deaths we've had this year in boxing.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to see moves made to make this thing safer. It's already a brutal sport, and I think we are obliged to try to rack our brains to try and think of ways that we can make the thing safer. I think it's an obligation for people who enjoy the sport, for people who comment on the sport, for people who are engaged on the sport at whatever level. If anyone has any ideas how to make this dangerous sport safer, look at F1. Look at F1, Formula One. Look at racing. Deaths occur, serious injuries occur, but there is a constant quest to make the thing safer. You know, when Ayrton Senna passed, he was one of my favorites, and there was some allegation that there was some work done on a steering rod that was of subpar there was subpar work. Moves were made to make sure that couldn't happen again.
Yeah.
Looking at this Spilka thing now, he should not be fighting within 6 months of what happened to him. We don't just have to look at the absolute fatalities. We have to look at things that are likely to go wrong down the line. A guy like Spilka fighting 3 months after what happened to him happened. It's just not good. Okay, it's going to turn bad for him after he's finished, after he's retired. That's when the full manifestations of his mismanagement, that's when it's going to show up. But it doesn't matter that it's going to happen after he's retired. It matters that it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So there has to be some legislation after a knockout like that, after such a vicious knockout. There has to be a rule that a fighter cannot box within 6 months, even if it goes over to another organization. There has to be moves made to ensure that thing does not happen. That's a start. That's just one thing. That's just one move. That's just one measure.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one measure at a time, and over a period of time, you end up with a safer sport.
Agreed. Got to start somewhere.
It's got to start somewhere. Just one step at a time. Just do one thing at a time, one step at a time. And that would be my final words. Let's try to make a sport which is inherently dangerous. Let's try and not make it more dangerous by silly things like what Spilka's about to do.
Agreed. All right. Thank you very much, and amen to that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So once again, thanks a lot for coming in, Rafi. Appreciate it. If y'all haven't
Likewise, Jonah.
If you haven't already, make sure you get over to Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Check him out. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up and check out the rest of his content. I mean, he streams 3 times a week and drops other videos as well, so you can keep up with what's going on. Also, thanks to Unrivaled Boxing Talking News for popping in for a while. Always dropping some great knowledge. And AA Boxing and Blunts, both of those guys also have their own channels, so make sure you get over, check them out, subscribe.
And for people who are over here who have not already smashed the like button and the subscribe button and the bell icon for Big Boys Boxing, please kindly do so. If you enjoy the content, and I'm sure you do, that's why you're here.
Thanks for that, brother. And thank you to everybody in the chat. We had Tommy Temper in, Toby Bartlett was in. Who else we got in here? We had Oasis 1 dropped in. We had Unrivaled Talking News was in the chat as well.
We got this Kidderman.
Kidderman. Yeah, Kidderman.
Yeah.
Dropped in for a while there as well. I've seen him. He's one of my followers on Twitter. And I think that's just about everybody who dropped into the chat today. So, thanks for dropping in. Wouldn't be the same without yous. And that is us for today. So, right here we have Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio and Big Boys Boxing. We are out. See you.